Good morning, Fox Pack. Welcome back to the Fox Den. Welcome back to the vlog, and welcome to another acid trip. Today we are going to be changing the rear differential fluid in the G37. I'm going to show you guys how to do it. This is super quick and easy if you have a nice set of ramps. So I'm going to show you everything you need, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Let's get started. And also, mind you, this is for the rear differential fluid. If your G is all-wheel drive like mine, there is a front differential, which will also need to be changed. But I'm not quite as worried about the front because the car is rear-wheel drive biased. It's always in rear-wheel drive unless it detects slip, so I'm not really worried about the front diff. But we are going to do it anyway, especially since we are going to be supercharging it in about 2 months. But for now, we'll just focus on the rear diff. It's much easier than the front. So let's get to it. Okay, so what you are going to need for this job is you're going to want a transfer pump like this. This is from Amazon. I've never had to really use one of these before. Actually, I did use one long ago, but I don't know what happened to it. So I had to buy another one. Super cheap. We'll get the job done. You also need a hex bit. This is a 10mm 3/8 drive, and you also want a torque wrench because we are going to set torque specs on this. Now this is where you decide what you want to do. This is the Z1 rear diff fluid kit. So basically this comes with the fluid washer that goes in the drain plug and probably something else I think it comes with. I can't remember for sure, but let's find out by opening it up and see what we got. So as you can see, we have our diff fluid here. This is OEM, obviously. As you can see there's your part number if you want to pause and use that part number. Comes with 2 quarts. Now you don't have to use OEM fluid, that's completely up to you. However, when it comes to transmission stuff, gearbox stuff, I always like to use OEM stuff. I've always done that on my Acura and all that, so I just feel more comfortable using this stuff. It is a bit pricey, but I do feel more comfortable using it. Again, it's all up to you what you want to use. Okay, so this is actually really handy. It actually comes with little spouts that you can put on these, but if you're going to use your transfer pump, which is going to be much easier, we will not need these, but it is kind of cool. Maybe I'll use these bottles for something else once they are empty. We shouldn't go through all the fluid, but probably end up going through at least one of these. We have a washer for the drain plug and a washer for the fill plug as well. You don't have to replace these, but it's always nice to replace them. I mean, you're just supposed to, but you really shouldn't have to. So if you don't want to buy this Z1 kit, you know, you shouldn't have to worry about these. But of course, if it's leaking and you can't get it to stop leaking, that's what it is. You got to replace those washers. So that's all you need to do your diff fluid. So now let's get this thing on the ramps. And for some reason, I always park the car halfway into the garage. I don't know why. We'll get this thing on ramps and we'll get started. Okay, so the car's on the ramps. This probably isn't the ideal way to do this because it kind of puts the transfer case like that. Probably won't get all the fluid out. We'll get probably about 95%. This is the easiest way to do this. Even if I was to put the car on my jack stands, it's still not going to be level. So drain pan here, and as per usual, as soon as I start filming a video, they decide that they're going to cut down trees and grind them up next door. And let's not hit our head on this diffuser because it is metal. Despite what people think, this thing actually is metal. Alright, so you can see there we have our drain plug. I'll get in for a closer look. That's our drain plug right there, and it looks pretty crusty. I have a feeling it's not going to come out easy. And yes, you guys can see the Motordyne exhaust. There's been a lot of confusion about this exhaust. A lot of people think I removed that center muffler you can see over there. All I did was add these 2 resonators right here, as you can see. That's all I did. We have our torque spit here, or hex head, whatever you want to call it. Actually, it is a hex head, not a torque spit. Oh, that was easier than I thought. Except now, the head is stuck in there because it's a little crusty. Had I looked into this a little more, I probably would have bought a whole new drain plug. Now, you're supposed to initially do this at, I think it's about 70,000 miles, but I have a suspicion that it was not done on this car. And also, I want to remove the fill plug before we drain it, because if for some reason the fill plug doesn't want to come out, we don't want the differential to be empty and not be able to fill it. So, no, just as easy. Nice. And just in case fluid comes out, I'll move my pan over here. Now, I'm not sure if the fluid was done or not. I have no clue, which is why I'm doing it. Chances are it wasn't done. And I'm at 130,000 miles, so if it hasn't been done, that's definitely no good. Hopefully I don't see too much metal on this drain plug here. It should just be normal metal, like kind of like a paste substance on it. And the fluid definitely smells like burnt rubber, which indicates that it's well out of its life expectancy. Alright, now's the fun part. I get to take our drain plug out, get my pan ready. It shouldn't come out too fast. Oh yeah, that fluid is completely black. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. It's black. It's got a clarity to it, like you can see through it a little bit, but it's pretty dark. Here's our drain plug, and yeah, there's no way this fluid was ever done. You can see how there's like this paste on it with these metal shavings. That's the initial break-in shavings. So that tells me right there that this fluid was never changed. So I'm very glad I'm doing this. Yeah, as long as you don't have any big chunks of metal on there, then you're fine. It should just be like a paste. And that's exactly what this is. So the good news is that the differential does not appear to have been damaged from not changing the fluid. And I expected this because I did the spark plugs when I got the car. They looked horrible. I did the throttle bodies when I got the car. They're the worst I've ever seen on a VQ. So I expected this to not have been done, and sure enough it wasn't. So you can see we have our drain plug all cleaned off. So now it's ready for use. But we are going to go ahead and replace this washer if I can get it off. I have a new washer, and our drain plug is ready for use. This thing's pretty crusty, so it's a good thing I'm replacing these. There we go. Now our fill plug is ready. Alright, so let's get our drain plug back in. And here's our torque wrench, and we are going to torque this to 26 foot-pounds. Make sure your hex head is in the plug all the way, especially if it's crusty like this one is. You don't want to strip this out. That's it. Now we can start adding our fluid. Alright, so we have our transfer pump. Again, this is from Amazon. Just type it in, it'll come right up. Comes with a nice hose, just like that. And we have our diff fluid. Now basically, we're gonna pump this into the differential until it starts dripping out from the fill plug. Now basically, we're gonna fill the differential until the fluid starts running out of the fill hole. And then that will be the indicator that it's at the proper level. You can see it's a nice gold color. That is not the color that it was when it came out. It was very, very dark. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me from the honey in the Bee movie. You like jazz? Awesome. Oh great, that came out in the thing. Okay, do not use this because I almost dropped it inside the diff. So just take that off and just use it like this. Jesus Christ. Can't deny it, we're stuck inside this broken city. We can try to chase the sun in the moonlight, but we all know better where the cast asides the torn pages from the underground. There's a rage coming. We go out, steal the sun from the advantage. Oh, there we go. And that's it, guys. It's full. So let that run out just a little bit and we're gonna be good. That thing used almost both bottles, which is a little interesting. But you can see it's dripping, running real nicely, so we'll just let that get to the proper level. And then we can put our fill plug back in and then we're done. Wow, look at this clamp. Wow, look at that. That's what's been scraping. Wow, that's bad, man. It's also a little loose, we're gonna have to replace that. This is why you have to put these in the proper orientation, otherwise this happens. Yeah, it's actually a little loose. Have to take care of that. And that is it. We have successfully changed the rear diff fluid on my G37 sedan, and I hope that you just did too. Now I'll get the car off the ramps and we'll just take it for a little drive. Although I don't think it's going to change anything, but just want to make sure it sounds good, you know. Make sure there's no grinding or anything like that. It's definitely happy. And that's it, guys. That's how you change your rear differential fluid in your G37. This will also apply for the G37 Coupe, and whether you are all-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive, it's the same thing. However, if you are all-wheel drive, there is a front diff as well, which I'll be looking into later, but I'm not as worried about that because it is rear-wheel drive biased. That doesn't get any load on it as much, so I'm not too worried about that, but I will be doing that at some point. I hope this is helpful. Like I said, it's really easy. It'll take you about half an hour if you get some ramps. It took me longer because I was filming it, but very easy job. Anyone can do it. And yeah, hope it was helpful, and I hope you all can do this now. But yeah, it's certainly something you'll want to do yourself rather than taking it to the dealer, because the dealer probably would charge hundreds of dollars to do this. So the diff fluid change kit from Z1 I think was like 50-60 bucks, which is high, but it does come with OEM fluid, which I prefer to use on anything with a gearbox. I do the same thing with my ATVs and all that stuff. It's OEM gear oil. It's just my personal preference, but you can use whatever you want. That's going to wrap up today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Hope this was helpful. And as usual, if you have any questions at all, you can hit me up on Instagram at SilverFoxG37. Don't forget to subscribe, join the Fox Pack today, hit the bell notifications to be notified when we do something stupid. Follow our official page at SilverFox Racing Group, and you can follow me on Instagram at SilverFoxG37 to see all the behind the scenes of the Acid Tree. But yeah, guys, if you haven't seen the last video, we are Soho supercharging the G, and I am going to be ordering the kit in 2 months' time. Hopefully, beginning of June, I will be able to order it, and then hopefully mid-July, depending on the lead time, this thing will be supercharged. And in about 3 weeks, I will be finally getting my daily, so we can go nuts with this thing. So I'm really excited. So you definitely want to subscribe, stay tuned. If you're new around here, especially if you just happen to come across this video, it's going to sound awesome. I'm so excited, and I'm going to, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. Just watch the last video that I posted announcing it, and you'll see everything I'm going to be doing. Remember, life's too short to stay stuck, and it's only legal if you get caught. Stay foxy.